There comes a time in every continent's history when silence becomes impossible. A moment when generations decide to shape their own destiny rather than inherit someone else's design. For Africa, that moment is now. Across cities, villages, and parliaments, a quiet determination is rising. The will to say no to dependency and yes to dignity, progress, and partnership on equal terms. For decades, the world has spoken about Africa as if it were a problem to be solved rather than a partner to be respected. Promises were made in conferences far from African soil. Aid programs were launched with good intentions, but often built on old assumptions that Africa would always need guidance, loans, or permission to dream. But this generation has grown up seeing something different. They see a continent with unmatched energy, youth, and ambition. They see nations with natural wealth, digital talent, and global potential. They see the future, and they are ready to claim it. When African nations began to demand fairer trade deals, more balanced partnerships, and the right to define their own security interests, some were surprised. But this isn't rebellion, it's maturity. It's the realization that respect in international relations is not requested. It is earned through unity, clarity, and self-belief. The day Africa said no to the West was not about confrontation. It was about conversation, a declaration that Africa is ready to sit at the same table, not below it. Around the world, new partnerships are emerging. African leaders are looking east, north, and south, building relationships with whoever treats the continent with fairness. The message is clear. Loyalty will no longer be based on history, but on honesty and mutual benefit. The age of one-sided influence is ending. In its place is a new era where Africa chooses friends who invest in its future rather than define it. But saying no to the old ways is only half the journey. The real challenge begins with saying yes. Yes to accountability, to innovation, to unity. Africa's destiny will not be written in foreign boardrooms, but in classrooms, laboratories, and innovation hubs from Lagos to Nairobi, from Dakar to Addis Ababa. The day Africa said no to the West was also the day it said yes to itself. This awakening is not about isolation. It's about confidence. The youth of Africa are learning that they don't need to leave their homeland to find success. They can build it where they stand. The continent is home to the fastest growing population of entrepreneurs in the world. African technology startups are attracting investors from every corner of the planet. Creative industries, music, film, art, fashion, are shaping global culture in ways unseen before. Africa is no longer waiting to be discovered. It is being celebrated. For the West, this moment should not be feared but understood. A confident Africa means a more stable, prosperous world. Partnerships built on respect will bring greater results than those built on control. The global economy of the 21st century cannot thrive without Africa's innovation, labor, and resources. Recognizing Africa's agency is not an act of charity, it's an act of wisdom. When history looks back at this period, it will not see anger or defiance. It will see rebirth. The new generation of African leaders and thinkers are not rejecting cooperation. They are redefining it. They are crafting a model of partnership that honors sovereignty, encourages investment, and protects the dignity of every nation. That is what saying no truly means. Not resistance, but transformation. Imagine a future where African goods travel freely across borders, powered by the African Continental Free Trade Area. A future where energy independence, digital infrastructure, and strong local industries turn potential into prosperity. A future where the term foreign aid is replaced by shared growth. That is the vision driving today's change. For too long, Africa's narrative has been written by others through the lens of charity, conflict, or crisis. But now, African journalists, creators, and voices are telling their own stories. The world is listening to a different rhythm, one of resilience, creativity, and hope. The continent's story is no longer one of struggle, but of strategy. The day Africa said no to the West is not a single day on the calendar. It's a state of mind. It's the quiet confidence of leaders who choose what's best for their people, not what's convenient for others. It's the determination of young Africans who turn challenges into innovations. It's the rise of a continent that finally believes in its own strength. And as Africa stands taller, it invites the world to stand with it, not as patrons or protectors, but as partners. The West, too, has a chance to evolve, to engage with Africa not as a project, but as a power. Together, both sides can write a new chapter of cooperation, built not on the past, but on a shared vision for the future. So, when we say the day Africa said no to the West, we're not talking about rejection. We're talking about realization. Realization that equality is not given, it's claimed. That progress is not imported, it's created. That partnership is not demanded, it's deserved. Africa is no longer waiting for permission. It is building its own path with confidence, clarity, and courage. And in doing so, it isn't turning away from the world. It's inviting the world to meet it at eye level. That's all about today. So if you like the information, then don't forget to subscribe.